How's it going, guys? Chris Hart here, Sold Out Servant. If you're watching this video, you're probably someone in two different groups. So I want to ask you to check out our video to learn more about our company, what we do, how we serve families, and maybe learn more about financial literacy for yourself. And maybe you're somebody saying, man, Chris, I'm open to an opportunity to make extra income. Regardless of who you are, today we'll walk through a couple of different things. One, I'll share my story first, my background, how I got started in this industry over 12 years ago. I'll walk you through the future, what's happening now in financial services. And then we'll engage the three problems we're solving as entrepreneurs. And then walk you through some financial terms around money and finances, how money grows, how to advance wealth for yourself. And for somebody who's open to the opportunity, I'll walk you through exactly what we do, how we serve families, and how we get paid in the process. So guys, my background, I'm originally from California, born and raised in SoCal. Prior to working in financial services, worked at a company called Apple. At Apple, my job was to help companies integrate Apple technology, software, hardware. Loved Apple. Thought I was going to retire there, but God had different plans for me. I met a guy at my church back in 2013. We had some small talk about a company called PHP. And I asked him what it stood for. He said, people helping people. I thought it was pretty corny. I said, what do y'all do? He says, we help families make money, save money, and get out of debt. At the time, I was very young. I was age 26. I had just gotten married. I thought, okay, as a new husband, I should probably be responsible with money and finances. So why not? Let me hear you out. And so we met the following Sunday after church, guys. He blew me away. My mom and dad did the best they can by me. We never quite had a discussion about personal finance. It just wasn't a topic of discussion in my household. In my years of high school and college, never had a class on personal finance. So it made sense to me. I got started as a client with Nationwide Financial and AIG. Now, he tried to recruit me. I wasn't cocky, but I work for Apple. So I said, hey, man, I work for Apple. We have $100 billion in the bank. We're doing very well. Guys, Apple had $100 billion in the bank, not me, right? But my ego was tied to working for a big, sexy company. So I passed on the opportunity. Now I come from a large family. There's 7 of us. I have 6 siblings total. And so I gave them some referrals to my older brother and sister, Stanley and Tammy. Now, a couple months went by. He called back from our referrals. And I asked him, I said, what did you make helping out Tammy and Stan in commission? He made about $7,000 in commission. I thought, wow, $7,000 helping them. I ain't getting any kickback, no referral fee, not even a Starbucks gift card, right? So I thought at that time, man, I could probably do it myself, get my own license, and serve my family on my own. So I said, as of right now, my entire family is set. So my plan was to get licensed, guys. I didn't get licensed. I procrastinated. I kept working at Apple. But me and my wife had a discussion a couple months later about having kids. And she says, hey, babe, I want to have kids. I said, we're in our late 20s. Why not? She says, but I want to be a stay-at-home mom. And I thought, wow, stay-at-home mom. I said, babe, there aren't any more stay-at-home moms in America. That's like an old school mentality, right? But she was serious and so was I. So I said, how do I replace her income? I thought I can get into real estate and sell homes, maybe have a part-time job, or maybe get started with my friend Curtis in the insurance industry. So me and Curtis, we had a conversation about the PHP agency platform, how it worked. And I said, hey man, if I come on board part-time, can I make an extra $2,000, $3,000 a month part-time? He says, Chris, you get started here, brother, you'll be a $250,000 earner in no time. I said, hey man, don't sell me no crazy dream. I'm making $250,000 a year. Can I make an extra $2,000 to $3,000 a month part-time? And I thought, man, worst case scenario, I'll come on board, learn about money and finances. It'll be a win-win for my family. So I got started part-time. Got licensed in 1 month. Within 4 months, retired my wife. She didn't make crazy income. She made about $2,500 a month. And after 4 months of working here and working nights, I was able to replace her income. And in 1 year from our start day, I left Apple. So it wasn't some get-rich-quick scheme or some overnight sensation. It took some hard work and dedication. But fast forward today, guys, God's bless us. My agency has a presence in Riverside, California. We're in Phoenix, Arizona. We're in Columbus, Ohio. We're in Brooklyn, New York. We're in Charlotte, North Carolina, Memphis, Tennessee, and we're heavily saturated in the DMV area, DC, Maryland, Virginia. So guys, let's get right into it. So PHP Agency, who are we? PHP Agency, what would you consider an FMO? We're a financial marketing organization. What we do is we market financial products on behalf of firms like National Life Group, AIG, Allianz, Fidelity and Guarantee. Most of these are Fortune 1000 companies, but they're having a hard time growing in diverse markets. One of their biggest challenges is their average agent is a 61-year-old Caucasian male. Now, nothing wrong with being white or being 61, but he's got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, he's about to retire. Now, these companies don't care what color you are, how old you are, or where you come from. All they care about is the distribution of their products and services. But they know people normally buy from people who look, talk, and act like them. So if the average agent is a 61-year-old Caucasian male, who is he probably marketing to? People in his demographic. Who's being left behind? Guys, everybody else. First, you've got Gen Xers. They're in their late 40s, 50s, not being taught to about money and finances. You've got Gen Zs in their teens and 20s being left behind. You've got my generation, millennials, right, in their late 20s, 30s, early 40s, not being targeted to when it comes to financial literacy. And then you have minorities and women. This is a huge part of our country's demographic not being targeted to when it comes to financial literacy and education. So our company's in a very unique spot. We're very diverse. We're 54% female, which is unheard of in the industry. We're 41% Hispanic, 32% African American, 13% Caucasian. We're a different type of company that wants to attract a different type of agent. So in business, we get paid based off the size of the problems we solve. We're solving problems here. We're solving three main problems, right? The first one we're solving here is called distribution. If the average agent in our industry is a 61-year-old male, he's not reaching everybody. We need distribution, guys. I'm a 38-year-old African-American male. I have access to a market that the average agent can't get to. Therefore, John Hancock, AIG, Pacific Life, they'll pay me very well to help teach people who look, talk, and act like me about money and finances. The first problem we're solving is distribution. The second problem, guys, here is financial literacy. We don't learn how money works in America. Not in high school, not in college, and not at home. How do we learn? From school of hard knocks, right? Making mistakes in our 20s and our 30s, trying to recover by our 40s to get back on track in time for retirement by our 50s and 60s. It's not the best wisdom, but it's all we know. We teach financial literacy here. How's your 401k work? Your 403b, IRA, Roth IRA. What's tax code 7702? What's an infinite banking concept? How does taxation and inflation impact my retirement and my wealth? And last but not least, it's just entrepreneurship. I don't care how old you are in America today. If you're saying, man, Chris, I want to open a business, you have to attract us. Who is that? Gen Zs and millennials, but we're different. We were born between 1981 and 2010. Most of us don't want to work at a job for 40 years for a 401k for 45k a year. We want to travel, live our best life, get paid what we're worth, and have an impact on our community and the world. Last time I checked, that's very hard to do behind a desk or a kiosk. It requires entrepreneurship. But who's teaching us that? Guys, no one really is. And so these are the three main problems we're solving. You're probably wondering, Chris, okay, great intro. How are y'all solving these problems? I'm located in the DMV area, and we run free financial workshops here. Every Tuesday evening, Wednesday evening, Thursday evening, Saturday morning, and Saturday afternoon, we're at max capacity. There's a huge demand for what we do in our community. But here's the thing, we teach about money and finances, but not just money and finances. More importantly, how does money grow? We all make money. Some make more, some make less, but our money is growing three ways. Now, unfortunately, we're only taught the first two here normally in America. So your money right now is currently going three ways. It's growing fixed, it's growing variable, and growing index. Now, each way money grows has a plus and a minus to it or a pro and a con. The first one here is fixed. What's fixed? It's going to be your checking account, savings, CD, money market. For some of you guys, a shoebox upstairs, right? Now, what's the plus of putting money in a shoebox or a bank account? It's safe. It's backed up by the FDIC up to $250,000 deposits. Now, what's the downside to it? It's not going anywhere. And most of our average savings checking accounts begin between 0 and 1% growth. It's not even keeping up with inflation. So looking at a growth chart here, over time, you got slow growth, not the best place to grow money. The second one here is variable. Now, a lot of my clients have variable accounts due to employee-sponsored accounts like 401ks, 403bs, 457s, TSPs. Maybe you own some cryptocurrency, right? XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin. Maybe you have some real estate investments. You're investing in the stocks or ETFs. Now, what's the plus to investing into an ETF or stocks or real estate or crypto or your 401k? Growth. You can experience phenomenal growth in the market, guys. I invest in stocks. I invest in real estate. I love those concepts, right? Because it brings me phenomenal growth. But what's the downside to it? Sometimes what goes up must come down. You could lose all or a portion of your money in variable accounts. Looking at the last 24 months of our economy, what's happening now currently with the terrorists, what's happening with Trump, and things that are taking place in our current economy, we've seen some ups and downs in the stock market recently, right? So the market's been kind of up, down, up, down, up, down, crash, recovery, right? The real question is this: how much money can you afford to lose right now? The last one here is index. Now, keep in mind, index is not as popular as fixed and variable. Why? The average agent marketing index is not talking to everyone. So a lot of my clients have never heard of it. It falls in two categories. You got fixed index annuities and index universal life. Fixed index annuities and index universal life, known as FIAs and IULs. Now, they're both insurance products. Insurance has a disposition to not lose value. You have a contract saying you're guaranteed to never lose money in the account. So the plus is pretty obvious, guys. It's safe. Now, what's the catch? It's gotta be a catch. Now, in most cases, it's capped on growth. Not all, but most. So what does that mean? In this example, we're saying you're capped at 9% growth. You will not go above 9% growth, but you will never go below 0. So what does that mean? When we say index, it's tracking an index. It's tracking what we call the S&P 500, Standard & Poor's, right? Your top 500 companies in the stock market, from Tesla to Nvidia to Google to Microsoft to Disney, all these brands, right? Now imagine you said, Chris, I want to grow some money for my future tied to the performance of Amazon, Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, but I don't want any risk. You want to grow money with those top companies and find any risk. You may want to consider an index tied to an IUL or a fixed index annuity. Now, let's just say you're putting in $100 a month into an IUL, or you're someone saying, hey, Chris, I got a $10,000 IRA and roll it over into an annuity, right? And I'm doing that into a fixed index annuity. And say the market was up this year 20%. Woo, good year growth in the market. What would you get in your return? Well, your cap's 9. So what are you getting? 9%. Guys, that's the downside to it. You do not get all the gains in the market. You probably take any upside with a cap. But imagine the market was flat the following year. 8% growth, which is not bad at all, a nice average return on the market. What would you get? All 8%. Say we had a repeat of the dot-com boom, the recession in 08, COVID scare, recently the tariffs of 2025, right? And the market was down negative 38%. How much money would you lose in your fixed index annuity or IUL? Zero. Zero is your hero. You don't lose money in the index. Looking at a growth chart here, I'm a very visual person. When the market's up, you're up. Down, you're flat. Up, you're up. Down, you're flat. Up, you're up. Down, you're flat. So forth and so on. So looking at all three ways money grows, if you had an opportunity to grow money for your family's future between fixed, variable, and index, where would you put most of your money? Most of my clients say index. Some say fixed, a few say variable. Guys, I believe in all three. If I sat here and said, hey, put all your money in index, that's crazy. You should run. If I said, hey, put it all in the stock market, that's crazier. If I said, put it in a bank account, get out of here, right? I don't know anything. I believe in all three. I believe in diversification. So when it comes to fixed accounts, what do we enjoy most about our fixed accounts? Safety. We work hard for our money, and tomorrow morning you want to be there in the AM, right? But the hard thing to it is this here. There's no growth tied to these fixed accounts. We like the safety, but don't enjoy the lack of growth. What should be in this account? Most financial experts say between 3 to 6 months should be set aside into a savings account or a fixed account that you have liquid access to in case life happens. You can take money from it when you need to. Liquidity's there. Variable accounts. We enjoy the growth of our TSP. 401k, real estate investments, cryptocurrency, right? ETFs. But we don't like losing money. So what should be in there? It's really based off 3 factors: age, income, and wealth. The older you get, the less money you should risk in the market. There's a rule in finance called the Rule 100. Take 100 minus your age. 100 minus a 50-year-old's age is 50. That means half their funds should be in variable accounts. You should be investing in stocks, being a little more aggressive. Maybe a 20-year-old, 100 minus 20 is what? 80. 80% of your funds should be in variable accounts. While you're young, you can take more risks. What if you're 65? 100 minus 65 is 35. That means 35% of your portfolio should be in more risky investments. I meet clients all the time that are 90% in risk, and they're in their 50s and 60s, right? And the next thing here is your income and your wealth. Guys, if I make $1 million a year, I got low debt, and I lose $10,000 in the stock market, am I hurting? No, it's a drop in the bucket, right? Now, if I make $85,000 a year and lost 10 grand, does that hurt a little more? It does. It definitely does. And the last one here, guys, is index. It's safe and it grows, kind of has the best of both worlds. If you heard of a guy named Warren Buffett, he's a financial guru, a decade billionaire, all these books on money and finance. He's got 2 rules to money. His first rule of money is rule number 1, do not lose money. Makes sense. Check the list off. Don't lose money. Second rule of money is do not forget rule number 1. Keeps it simple. Just don't lose money. Here's the problem. A lot of our loved ones, coworkers, colleagues, friends, all we're ever taught is 401k and checking account, 403b and savings, CDs, stocks, mutual funds, bonds, ETFs, and cryptocurrency. When he's saying don't lose money, he's not saying put it in the bank or in the safe. He's saying something called principal protection in most cases. What does that mean? Imagine you had $100 that was in a 401k, a retirement account, a variable account, right? We're keeping the math simple. Say the stock market was down 50%. Simple math here, right? If you had $100, the market goes down negative 50%. How much money did you lose and what do you have left? You lost half of it. So what's left? $50. Now, the market always recovers. It bounces back up positive 50%. Where are we at now? Most of us say 100. right? You're at 50, back up 50 at 100. That's not how math works. At second look, you were at $50 in your account principal balance. It went up 50%. What do you have now? Half of 50 is what? $25. You're at $75. What does that show us? Whenever we have a correction in the market, it takes twice as much growth to get back to square one. This is why not losing money can be better than making money in some cases. And so looking at these 3 ways money grows, always ask my clients one-on-one or in group settings, how are you currently growing money? So for you watching this video now, how are you currently growing money? Do you currently own any fixed accounts? Most of my clients say, yeah, we have a checking account, savings to manage household finances. When I ask my clients, do you currently own any variable accounts? Most of them will say, yeah, I have a 401k, TSP, I got some real estate investments. Maybe you have some stock accounts with Robinhood, all that great stuff. Great. Guys, when I ask my clients, do you currently own any fixed index annuities or an index universal life? Guess how many say yeah? Maybe 1 out of 10. And when I ask them why not, they say, Chris, I never heard of it, right? So if you were sent this video by somebody you love or care about, someone you just met who's a stranger, maybe you just came across this video on YouTube, right? And you're saying, man, Chris, I have no clue how index truly works. I highly suggest that you check out the person who sent this video to learn more about that concept, because our main goal here, guys, is to teach people about money and finances. And if index can be a good part of your portfolio, why not have some money there growing for you where it can be restored for you, tax-free, partaking in the upside of the market with no losses guaranteed. So at this point, you're probably wondering, Chris, like, what do y'all actually do? You left Apple. The person who sent me this video, I think they're full-time with PHP agency. They may be part-time. They're making money part-time. Like, what do y'all actually do? Let me go over our crusade. Now, maybe you're someone saying, man, Chris, I'm open to earning a secondary income as a life insurance agent. Y'all, never thought in my lifetime I would say that I'm a life insurance agent. It sounds so freaking boring. Guys, but we're a different type of company that wants to attract a different type of agent. So my job here, guys, is to teach, educate, and inform. I can't say the right thing to the wrong person. If it's a good fit for a family, great. If not, no harm. Guys, I hate sales anxiety. If you're working in sales, you know what that is, right? You have to close a client, put pressure on them, overcome 1,000 objections. That's not my style at all. I'm going to teach you what we do for families. If it brings value to your family, great. I'm not going to try to hard sell you. And so let me show you what we teach, how we get paid in the process on the back end, right? Maybe you're someone saying, I'm open to making extra income, right? And so the first concept we teach about insurance is called term insurance. It's been around since the beginning of time. Term is very basic, right? One of the most popular terms of insurance out there. So term is simple. Say I meet somebody, I'm a client. I meet an agent in the insurance space, and I'm a husband, I'm a father, I got 3 kids, and I need some life insurance, right? And they offer me a $500,000 death benefit if I were to pass away that would go to my wife and kids. As a man, as a father, I should probably have that and be responsible. So I move forward. Now, they offer me a 30-year term. Now, that means I'm covered for the next 30 years at $500,000 in coverage. Now, I'm gonna pay about $50 a month for this policy. Not bad at all. Now, I'm not paying the agent, I'm paying the insurance company. The agent is just the agent representing the company. So say I pay AIG, National Life Group, Pacific Life, $50 a month for this policy. Pacific Life says, Chris, thank you for helping us find a new client. Okay, absolutely. We have a hard time finding clients in diverse markets at times. We're gonna advance you what the client paid us times 12. So I, as an agent, say I'm the client, right? I pay the client, I pay the Pat Life $50 a month for my policy. They advance that to the agent here times 12. Times our average contract. It's about $300 in commission in about 2 hours of work. What kind of job pays that kind of money in 2 hours? Many jobs do, skilled jobs do. This can be made from home, part-time, serving a family from a laptop, a tablet, or a coffee shop in person. Now, great income for the agent. What's in it for the client? God, it's cheap and inexpensive. I'm paying $50 a month for $500,000 in coverage. God forbid I pass away, my family's protected. What's the downside to it? This policy expires. So in 30 years, I no longer have insurance. Now, in most cases, am I healthier at age 35 or age 65? Probably 35. So in 30 years, when I'm age 65 and this policy expires, how much would it cost to renew it? A lot more than $50 a month. So what do most clients do? They sell for a final expense policy in their 60s and 70s for $100 a month for a $25K burial expense, which is not bad, but here's a problem for most clients. If they owe a large sum on their mortgage, does that policy pay out their mortgage? It doesn't. And what happens when that person passes away? That home is usually lost. And so again, term is not bad at all. It's great for most people who are young, just getting started. It's $20 a month for some people, 18 bucks a month, 40 bucks a month, depending on your age. But overall, it's supposed to protect you when you're younger and you're building your empire, building your wealth, having kids, getting married. But it's usually not a one size fits all for everybody. The second one here is called IUL, Index Universal Life Insurance. Now, imagine someone saying, man, Chris, I'm in the market for life insurance. If you were in the market for life insurance, how long do you want life insurance for? Most people want life insurance for life. So this covers you for life. So client says, hey, Chris, I want a permanent life insurance policy. I want a policy that I can guarantee when I pass will pay out my family trust and actually add value to my family trust, which is phenomenal, right? And so with that being said, the policy is a $500,000 death benefit. Clients paying $250 a month for this policy, a lot more expensive than the term policy. Keep in mind, 95% of term policies never pay out. Why? We don't die in our 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. We live past that usually. And so we end up paying that policy. It's profit for the insurance company. But in this case here, we have a permanent policy. So I'm paying $250 a month. Now, a portion of that money, that premium is going towards cash value, which is that third way money grows, which is great for me. So you know what? I don't mind doing it. I may even adjust overfunding my 401k and putting some money into this here if it makes sense for me. And so I'm paying $250 a month for this policy. Now, Fidelity says, Chris, thank you for helping us find a new client. We have a hard time finding clients in diverse markets. We're going to advance you, but Chris Hart pays us times 12 the following week. So I put away $250 a month for a policy. The agent gets that times 12, times our average contract of 50%. You'll make about $1,500 in 2 hours of work. Now, what kind of job pays that kind of money in 2 hours of work? Most jobs do. This is a great part-time opportunity for most people who could put the work in and say, I don't mind serving people in my community. Now, this is phenomenal income. This is one of the main reasons why I got started, but not the only reason why I got started. If you're familiar with residual passive income, you may love this opportunity. In this industry, these companies will pay you upwards to 4%, sometimes 3, sometimes 5, of annual renewals of each client's policy. What does that mean? This client puts away $250 a month times 12. Say I make about $1,500 in commission off this next week. I also get 4% of the annual premium next year, which is how much? $120. That's not a lot of money. But wait, that's about $10 a month. What if I get involved with this industry part-time and I do it for 5 years, do it for 7 years, do it for 10 years, and I keep serving clients? And most of the companies I work with give me a 10-year block of renewals, sometimes 15, 20 years. So I keep helping clients, building my book of business, guys. And guess what? What if 70% of my clients stay on the books? 30% life happens, they cancel the policy, life happens, divorce, they cancel, whatever, things happen, death, right? Things happen in life. But what if a big solid part of my business stays on the books? Now I'm making $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month part-time in residuals. Y'all, this is the second highest paid profession by professional athletes. It goes LeBron James and then boop, financial services. But this is America's best kept secret. Reggie told that's tech. Go into tech. Tech is great. This isn't tech. It's healthcare. Healthcare is great. This isn't healthcare. It's real estate. Real estate is phenomenal. This is not real estate. Here's the problem though. This is America's best kept secret, but guess who's not in this industry in large comparisons? Minorities, women, Gen Zs, millennials, Gen Xers. These companies don't care about the color of your skin. They care about one color. That's green. That's money. So they're saying, hey, if we can help teach more Gen Zs, millennials, women, how to articulate index universal life insurance, how to articulate fixed index annuities, how to understand retirement plan with 401ks, TSPs, IRAs, we'll pay them a lot of money to help teach people in their community about money and finances. So y'all, that's great income as an agent. Love it, guys. It's a residual book of business. What happens when I pass away? It goes to my kids. Generational wealth being passed down to my kids. As long as they pick up a life license, I can pass that down on them, which is phenomenal. But what's in it for our client? One is permanent insurance. Call me biased. I'm an insurance agent. If you're watching this right now, I believe you should have a permanent insurance policy. Why? Life can happen to you. I've seen horror stories. Prostate cancer, breast cancer in your 40s, kidney issues, a good night on a town caught a DUI, uninsurable now, right? So it's important to have a permanent policy to lock down your life regardless of what job or career path you have, because no matter where you go, that policy goes with you. 2, Cash value between 0 and 12%. Some companies offer caps of 12% growth on your money. No bank's offering anywhere near that with principal protection. 3, tax-free access under tax code 7702. This tax code allows you to borrow loans from a policy tax-free. And then 4, living benefits and long-term care. I ask my clients all the time, man, what's your plan for long-term care? And guess what most of my clients say? My kids will take care of me. Your kids probably aren't taking care of you. I wouldn't bet on that happening, right? And so when it comes to long-term care strategies, most of the current IULs, index, universal life insurance policies can be equipped with long-term care riders. If you were to get sick, cancer, heart attack, stroke, Alzheimer's, dementia, you can now access your death benefit as a living benefit for free. Why? These companies want your money, so they innovate. Here's our problem, guys. You buy new iPhones, how often? Most of us every 2-3 years. We buy cars, how often? Every 7-8 years. How often do we buy new life insurance policies? Maybe once or twice in a lifetime. We have no clue what's out there with the latest and greatest innovation within insurance. And the last one here, guys, is a private pension conversion. Imagine having an insurance product that you funded for 10, 15, 20 years. At the time of retirement, you can activate an income for life rider where you receive a check for the rest of your life. We aren't normally taught that when it comes to insurance, and a lot of our clients have no clue it even exists. So the last one here, guys, as I wrap up, is the annuity here. Imagine if you knew anybody that had a 401k, TSP, an IRA, right? Roth IRA. Maybe you knew somebody who was former military. They got out the Marine Corps, the Navy, the Army. They had an OTSP. And when you leave that position in the military, you leave your old job, you retire, that money should be rolled over into what we call an IRA, an individual retirement account. We get paid here to protect IRAs. So how does that work? Imagine you met somebody that had $250K in a TSP, 401k, 403B. You're an agent here at our firm. And that person says, hey, I want to protect this money from market risk. And you offer them a fixed index annuity. Now, Fidelity says, hey, welcome to our firm here. Thank you, Chris, for the introduction. We're going to advance you, Chris, 8%. And it's an example here. Some are higher, some are lower. 8% commission on the money being moved. And this money won't come from the client's pocket. It comes from the insurance company for us finding a client for them. So a $250,000 rollover from a TSP to an IRA on 8% is $20,000 times our average contract. Some are higher, some are lower. $10,000 in commission. That's not bad for a couple hours of work. Now, what's in it for our client? Uncapped growth. So there's uncapped indexing strategies tied to fixed index annuities where a client can partake in the upside of the market, which is really good. So if the market goes up in these next 2, 3, 4 years, I'll get some gains in the market. 2, principal protection. Wow, so if the market crashes, my floor is 0, I won't lose a dollar protecting someone's IRA. 3, tax-free rollover. This is a rollover, not a distribution. So that client can now roll over funds from a 401k, TSP, IRA into a qualified plan where, guess what? They aren't paying any taxes, giving their account time to be preserved to grow for them until they retire. And then 4, my favorite here, guys, private pension conversion. What's the number one reason or the number one benefit of being a government employee? Can you guess it? When I ask this question every week to my clients. The number one benefit of being a government employee is the pension. I work 20 years of service, 30 years of service, I get a guaranteed check for life. What do we strive for? Pensions, to get a guaranteed check, Social Security, which tells us something really big about retirement. Retirement is not about how much money you have saved up. It's about how much income is coming into your household guaranteed for life. And a lot of us didn't work for the government. We worked a private sector job, we had a 401k, we were entrepreneurs maybe, and we have no guaranteed income, maybe Social Security if it's still there for us when we retire. And so we help clients plan for predictable income for life by saying, hey, I have an old IRA, old 401k, TSP. I'm gonna roll it over into a fixed index annuity and do a contract with an insurance company, give me a guaranteed check for the rest of my life. Even if I outlive the money, it's at 0. They have to keep cutting me a check. Because we all know somebody that went back to work in their 70s. What do they usually say? I got bored, Chris. You know, I was working for so many years. I'm at home now and I'm bored watching TV. And some people actually get bored, but most weren't bored. They ran out of money. They're working at Target, Walmart, checking off receipts, nothing wrong with those jobs at all. But they didn't want to do that. They retired at age 65. Now they're at age 77, 12 years later with inflation, eggflation, cost of gas, food, things costing more money, taxes. Guess what? they're living off the IRA and they're saying, man, I can't keep going at this rate. I need to bring in extra income. Imagine knowing down to the penny what you're going to bring home per month for the rest of your life, so you can plan for that and be more predictable going into your mid, late 50s, early 60s. And the last one here, guys, imagine getting a 10% bonus on that rollover. Imagine a company saying, hey, if you roll over your funds with us, we'll give you 10% of your premium deposit day one. So taking $250,000 in cash to $275,000, which is phenomenal, which is guaranteeing me 10% growth on my balance that year, regardless of what happens in the market. And in some cases, there's a back-end bonus tied to income of up to 75%. And so, guys, as I wrap up here, if you're saying, man, Chris, I can possibly see myself doing this part-time. We have a great program here. We'll teach you and we'll train you. If that's you guys, the next step in the process is quite simple. This is a highly regulated industry. It requires passing a background check. If you have any felonies dealing with money or misdemeanors, you can have a hard time working with us. It's not us, it's the industry, it's our states, and so that can be tough. But if you're good there, guys, that next step is getting licensed. Licensing will cost you a couple $100 depending on the state you reside in the future. What's great about our licensing process here in insurance is that, hey, say I'm licensed in Maryland. I passed the test, I study for it, take it online, I passed the test. I got a buddy in Virginia. I got a buddy in DC. I got a buddy in Florida, Texas. I can go online to a site called NIPR.com. I can purchase that license as a non-resident license without any tests, meaning that I can take one test and buy the rest. Unlike most professional licenses like real estate, this requires one test to buy the rest. It may require continued education after 2 years or so, but it's a very low barrier of entry to get involved with part-time, to go out there and learn about money and finances, have a professional license, and serve families. And the last thing here, guys, is our platform fee on $199 that really gives you access to a quite robust system here at a company called Integrity. We're owned by Integrity Marketing Group. We're the biggest distributor of health, wealth, and insurance policies in the country. We're a privately owned company located out of Dallas, Texas. If you look at the screen here, our team leadership guys, our chairman of our board is a guy named Steve Young. Maybe you watched football in the 90s. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback, played ball with Jerry Rice. He's a chairman of our board of our company. Brian Adams is our co-founder and CEO, right? Was labeled one of the top 100 CEOs by Forbes magazine just last year in 2024. And so we have a great team here of partners and leaders that help lead our team. One thing that we're really striving for, guys, is also diversity. So my wife and I had the opportunity to partner with Integrity Marketing Group as an Integrity Partner Office here recently. So our office gets support from Integrity, from technology to systems. And Integrity really just saw that my wife and I were building a business in the insurance distribution space. They saw that this is a couple that's reaching diverse markets, reaching Gen Zs, millennials, all walks of life. They want to partner with us. And they really strengthened our credibility and access to technology through Life Center and certain things they have available to us. And so you get access to all of that by becoming an agent here at our firm, which is pretty phenomenal. And so we'll take care of a lot of support for you. Payroll is done through our system for you. Compliance, we take care of for you in many cases. We'll help you out with support and licensing. We have special trainings and events, usually annually, maybe in Vegas or local conferences where you can come partake in. And we have local support here where I'm at in Maryland, the DMV area, whether I'm in DC at this time, you're watching the video, or I'm in Virginia, or I'm still in Maryland. We have access here to our office training here. We have in-person training about 3 to 4 days a week in person, and online Zoom 4 days a week. So there's many access points for you to come into our office or hop on Zoom to learn this new skill set part-time to make additional income for your family. And the last thing here, guys, is our tech-enabled back office. You get access to a PHP agency office platform called Bamboo, where you can track your numbers, check your CRM, track your clients, all that good stuff. That really allows you to also get access to online bills through an app called Quest, where you can learn about annuities, IULs, infinite banking concepts, whole life products as a part-time agent, guys. So as I wrap up here, I'll end with this here, guys. I'm a PK. If you know what a PK is, it stands for pastor's kid, preacher's kid, right? I was born and raised in a household. My dad was a pastor. My mom was an evangelist, which is a little more serious, right? An evangelist. And as an evangelist, my mom had a bullhorn. Old school bullhorn that she would keep by her door, right? And Saturday mornings at 8 o'clock in the morning, we'll go out to South Central. We live in Compton, California. And she would go for a bullhorn and go preach the gospel and lay hands on prostitutes, drug addicts, gangbangers. And it's part of what we did as a family. My dad did some time in prison in the 70s, got out in the 80s, met my mom, and they fell in love and all that good stuff. And you know what? He had a love for men who were ex-convicts getting out of prison. He would help them rehabilitate them and show them the best way of loving God and finding peace in Christ, right? And so my family was always giving, owning nonprofits, serving the community. But here's what I found. We were always giving back. We were broke. We were broke. For most of my childhood, we were on food stamps. I didn't have the best clothing. I shopped at Payless Shoe Source, if you know what that is, man. It's at the Air Segas, not the Air Jordans, Air Segas. And it was what it was. But here's what I always thought. I said, we love God, we honor God, we're going to church, we love people, but we're broke. So I thought good people who love God are broke. And I would sit there and think, man, I want to love God, but can I have some money too? And so I was born and bred in a nonprofit environment, a heart for serving. It's still in me. But I was looking for a place in business where I can make impact and influence still, but also income. So when I found the insurance industry, when I found the void, the need for people in my community to learn more about money and finance, I said, I can go out there and genuinely serve people and make money in the process. My LLC is SOS Financial Agency. Since we're sold out servants, I believe people in business who serve the most always earn the most. So if you're someone saying, man, that's me, Chris, I'm looking for a place where I can make an impact and influence, but also make phenomenal income because money solves most of my life's problems, you found it today watching this video. So if it's you, you fall in probably 3 groups. Group 1, you're saying, man, Chris, I want to get started part-time. If that's you, I got 3 guarantees for you, right? First guarantee, you will learn a lot about money working with us. 401ks, TSPs, IRAs, infinite banking concepts, tax code 7702, right? Say you come on board part-time, you walk away in 6 months, we're still good friends, but you walk away with a wealth of knowledge on money and finances. Is that a good thing or a bad thing for your family? That's a great thing, man. Second guarantee, if you're working with us and you're licensed by your state as a professional in the insurance space, you're probably going to help people you love and care about. Mom, dad, brother, sister, cousin, coworker, friend, neighbor. And you're probably going to introduce them to National Life Group, Fidelity, Pacific Life. They're going to say, hey, cousin, brother, sister, I need this policy. I want to build wealth in the IUL. And when you walk away in 6 months, they're protected and their retirement is secure because of your decision to work with us part-time. And the last guarantee, guys, you're saying, man, Chris, I'm looking for a place to increase my overall income and wealth. In order to increase your income and wealth, you must first increase your identity. How do you do so? By the books you read, the meetings you attend, people you associate with. If you're running with us, we're going to push you. We're going to challenge you as a man and woman to level up. We can't guarantee any income, but we can guarantee one thing. If you do grow yourself, grow your mindset, grow your identity, your income and wealth usually always increases, guys. And so if you're saying, man, Chris, I'm open to just learn more about money and finances, serving my community, increasing my overall identity and income and wealth, I don't see any reason not to move forward unless you do. Person 2, you got some questions. I would advise you to reach out to the person who sent you this video. They will answer your questions for you, maybe even get you in contact with myself. I can answer questions for you also. And the third person is saying, man, Chris, great presentation. I've got no passion to ever work in the insurance industry, but you know what? Right now I'm working at a job that I love. I'm walking in my purpose. I make phenomenal income. I got some retirement accounts here, an IRA, 401k, TSP. I have no clue what to do with it. Never heard of fixed index annuity. Never heard of index universal life. I just want to learn more for myself. If that's you, whoever sent you this video, respond back to them and say, hey man, I'm open to learning more about IULs. I want to learn more and more about fixed index annuities. I want to learn how I can protect my money or build wealth tax free. If that's you, just reach back out. We'll get back out to you. What we're going to do is quite simple. Sit down with you and ask questions. We can never guarantee if an IUL is right for you. We'll ask questions like, hey, what's your long-term plans in saving, retirement planning, college for kids, taking care of aging parents, buying your first home, investing in real estate, and based off your financial goals, we'll fit a plan together for you. So like I said, person 1, want to get started part-time. Person 2, I've got some questions. Person 3, I'm open to a free no-look obligation and my own personal finances guide. With that being said, guys, happy you stayed to the very end. Again, I want to encourage you to make a decision to just take the next step and learn more about this process here at our firm so we can bring value to you long-term too. God bless. Thank you.